There was a video about Russians deploying massive 3,000 kilogram bomb, and I made a video about it as well. Now, I would like to attract your attention to two opinions about this incident. One of a very well-known aviation expert, Tom Cooper, who has serious doubts that the explosion that we see on the video is from 3,000 kilogram bombs, and he explains why. And the second is from well-known Russian milblogger FighterBomber from the enemy, who has very well-grounded reservation about the necessity of such glide bomb, of such huge glide bomb. So first, this is from the take from Tom Cooper. This is what he is writing. Yes, in March of this year, Shoigu announced production of the new bombs during his visit to a factory in Nizhny Novgorod. And you can see the photo from this visit here. And you can see FAB 3000 M5, and the 4 is not visible here. But no, the bombs in questions are nothing new. Their designation is telling the entire story. It ends with M54, which stands for the year in which their design was accepted and production was started. So the year is 1954. And when they're saying that, well, it is completely new, something completely new, they are, as usual, they are lying. And to clarify this a bit, since 1945, the Soviets have launched production of 3 families of free-fall bombs made for release from the aircraft. The M46 and the M46 series, so from the year 1946, the M54 series from the year of 1954, and M62 series from the year of 1962. And in the M46 and M54 families, there were bombs caliber 50, 100, 250, 500, 1500, and 3000 kilograms, which conditions their full designation to see FAB 50 M46, so 50 kilogram bomb from 46 year family, or 250 M54 and 500 M62. The M46 series was actually based on designs of German-made free-fall bombs from the Second World War, and it was made for deployment from piston-engined and thus subsonic aircraft. It might appear unimportant to a layman, but fact is that it has relatively thin casing of the kind making them unable to survive the overpressure caused if they were carried externally by the aircraft underway at speeds around 1,000 kilometers. And we are not even talking about supersonic speeds, so 1,200 kilometers or more. And on the picture you can see this FAB 3000 M46 from the year of 46. Okay, the M54 was the first Soviet series of free-fall bombs made for deployment from the internal base of such jet bombers like Il-22 and Tu-16. Neither could reach supersonic speeds, but they flew faster than piston-engined aircraft, and therefore this family was receiving reinforced casing to enable their deployment from higher speeds. Moreover, it was manufactured not only in usual calibers listed above, up to 3,000, but also in much bigger calibers like 6,000 and 9,000 kilograms. And they were designed for release from subsonic bombers like Tu-16 and Tu-95 bombers, or even supersonic bombers like Tu-22. And the M62 series was manufactured for deployment from supersonic jet aircraft. And it was designed for carriage on external hardpoints, so on the outside of the aircraft. And thus received a low drag, or low drag, or aerodynamic body, and you can see that it is much more streamlined. And the aircraft carrying them could accelerate up to 1,900 kilometers. However, it was never manufactured in calibers other than 250 or 500 kilograms. And the designation FAB, FAB, you can see here, is the abbreviation for Фугасная aviabomber. It is in Russian, but the English translation is high explosion aviation bomb. This is important because parallel to the M54 and M62 series, Soviets developed other families of other specialized bombs. And there are a few examples of them here. For example, ODAP, it is fuel air explosive, or meaning thermobaric. OFAP, it is high explosive fragmentation, осколочно-фугасная. Осколочно-фугасная зажигательная авиабомба, ОФЗАП, it's high explosive fragmentation incendiary, cluster, napalm, and so on. So that was the basics of the Soviet and Russian free-fall bombs. Now let's take a look at what kind of bombs have the Russians really deployed against Ukrainian position in Lipsy. And this is not my position, this is position of Tom Cooper. I'm just retailing what he was written about this. So general conclusion seems to be in style. Must have been glide bomb based on FAB 3000 M54 because Russians claim so. However, so far the Russians have not shown any glide kits, conversion kits that you are putting it on a free-fall bomb and it makes it glide bomb. So it makes glides it like 60-70 kilometers from the point that they were released from. So Russians have not shown any kits for FAB 3000 M54, but they have shown the kits for FAB 1500 M54. And you can see this during the same visit. Shoigu is here. During the same visit for this bomb factory in Nizhny Novgorod, you can see here with this 1500 kilogram bombs with these kits attached with these holders and the wings expanded with opened wings. Also pay attention to this added casing on the nose of the bomb, because it is to make it more streamlined and reduce the drag, because originally these bombs were supposed to be put into internal bomb base of the aircraft and not to be suspended on the external hard points. And if we make several slides back, so it is 3000 M54, but the same shape of the nose of the bomb is in 1500, in 1500, and you can see that it is much less streamlined than this one. Okay, and you also can see this glide bomb based on FAB 1500 installed under the center line of Su-34 bomber and between the two engine air intakes. And this weapon, glide bomb based on FAB 1500, is known to have been deployed by VKS in airstrikes on Ukraine. And it was deployed multiple times since March of this year. For example, against Kharkiv, where one such bomb demolished most of a street and killed a woman. And the photo is from that incident when one bomb demolished quite a lot of homes there. And another was dropped on Kupiansk, and yet another was dropped on village outside Kharkiv. There is no evidence that VKS has any glide kits for FAB 3000 M54 in operations. This is of importance because even if not much longer than FAB 1500, the FAB 3000 has a much wider diameter and it is 2 times as heavy. And you can see the dimensions on this photo. Here in the front there is a FAB 1500, and on the back is 3000. Sorry, and you can see that the length is quite similar, but the diameter is different, and this one is twice as heavy. And this is also from this visit to the bomb factory in Nizhny Novgorod. And here one should keep in mind that already the glide kit for FAB 1500 is very large and very heavy, and FAB 3000 is so heavy that that a glide kit for it would require much bigger wing assembly than the one for the FAB 1500. Probably something with the telescopic wings or similar, because if the length is not enough when you when they are folded. The length of the bomb is not enough. The bomb is not long enough so that this when they are folded, these wings are not going out of the dimension of this. So that's why they probably need telescopic ones. That's the conclusion. Finally, the body of weapon visible on the second video released by the Russians and showing their 3,000 kilogram bomb. It's in quote marks. During the strike on Lipsia, here you can see it was before the impact. Stopped frame from the video. So you can see that. So pay attention to the size of the wings and the slender bomb body. So the weapon is simply not fitting one for a 3,000 kilogram bomb. It does fit for 1,500 kilogram bomb. That's the conclusion of Tom Cooper. I actually not an expert to claim anything about this, and therefore cannot but agree with the conclusion here. And he is linking to this post from X to the conclusion here. The weapons deployed were UMPK based on glide bombs based on FAB 1500 and not FAB 3000. Alternatively, the weapon in question might have been an ODAP 1500. So this is ODAP 1500, and this one is thermobaric bomb. After all, Russians have already shown UMPK glide kit for this bomb, and yeah, this is, you can see this ODAP 1500 and the glide kit attached to it. And their deployment in combat was reported by Moscow back in March too. With other words, whether these two UMPKs deployed against Ukraine in Litsa were based on FAB 1500 or ADAP 1500, they were nothing new. So he means that this detonation that we saw on the video is it is detonation from not a new type of bomb. It is from the detonation from the bomb used previously, at least several times since March. The same is valid for aircraft deploying them. Almost certainly these were the usual suspects, Su-34s. Their capability to carry up to 3 weapons, caliber 1,500 kilograms, is well known for decades already, as nicely illustrated by such diagrams like this one. So you can see on this diagram in this line that they can carry or attach 3 1,500 kilograms bombs on the point attaching points 12, 11, and 1, which is in the center line of aircraft between two air intakes, as we have seen previously on one of the photos. And the two glide bombs in question were not particularly precise. Even some of the Russians admit that both weapons missed their aim points by dozens of meters. Of course, due to massive amounts of overpressure they deploy when detonating, they are still causing plenty of damage. Indeed, they can be lethal to fully exposed people out to 1,000 meters away from the point at which they detonated. At least I wouldn't like to be anywhere in that hospital building while a bomb caliber 1500 kilograms is detonated outside. So it was the Tom Cooper's take on the incident, and now let's hear what the enemy is saying. I would like to present to your attention two posts from Telegram channel FighterBomber. One from March, when it was announced that Russians started manufacturing 3,000 kilogram bombs, and the second one he posted after the video from Lipse surfaced. So let's start from the March post. At the time he was writing, regarding FAB 3000, I have some reservations about its necessity. There are no targets suitable for it. Developing a glide kit for it from scratch essentially turns it into a whole aircraft on a bomb, which would be clearly visible to any air defense systems. And he is actually saying what Tom Cooper said as well, saying that the wings that should be attached to such a heavy bomb should be massive, and they will have a quite big radar cross section, and it would be clearly visible on the radars. And if there is any air defense system in range, it can be shot down by this air defense system. The most optimal ammunition for UMPCs, for glide bombs, is the 500 kilogram caliber bombs in various versions: cluster, incendiary, nuclear, high explosive, and others. The 1500 kilogram bombs received a glide kit not out of a good situation, but because the accuracy of other is lacking, and this inaccuracy is compensated with power. Indeed, accuracy should be compensated with more advanced guidance systems or the addition of new characters. And then he is showing the relative explosive, how the weight of explosives inside of the bombs. Because when we hear 500 kilogram bombs, we tend to think that it is the mass of explosion. It's not the mass of the bomb itself, but it is the mass, the weight of the explosion. So it is like 500 kilograms of explosive, went off, detonated. But it is not so. So, for example, for FAB 500, it is only 200 kilograms of explosive inside, and he is more or less, approximately 200. For 1500, it is 700, so less than half is explosive, and for 3000, it is 1 ton and 400 kilograms of explosives there. And naturally, increasing the power several times over does not multiply the impact zone several times over. Accuracy is still needed. Alone, FAB 3000 falling 20 meters from the bridge will cause the same negligible damage as an FAB 500. So if Tu-22 plane will use such heavy glide bombs, it will get hit. If Su-34 will have to carry two 3,000 kilogram bombs under the wings, with them it would not differ in maneuverability from Tu-22, meaning it would also will get hit. Additionally, jettisoning 3-ton bombs over one's own territory in an emergency is not advisable if they are set as to not explode, so they are not armed for explosion. And actually, this is quite. I mean, the really who should be worried are people who are living in Belgorod Oblast of Russian Federation, because they already have several bombs, quite a lot of bombs actually falling from the skies on them, Russian bombs from their own aircraft that failed to, for some reason, failed to open the wings, and so they are not glide bombs anymore. They revert back to the freefall bombs. And if they are, released somewhere in Belgorod region, it will fall in Belgorod and not in Ukraine. So, I mean, these 3,000 kilogram bombs, if it is developed and if it is, dropped from airplane somewhere in Belgorod region, it has, I think, quite a lot of chance that it will demolish something in Belgorod region. Okay. Therefore, 3 kilogram bombs are needed, but in two scenarios. When the bomb, when we bomb a target completely unprotected by air defense, because he says that the planes that were using them will be too heavy and too unmaneuverable and easy target for some air defense. And when the flight is planned as a one-way trip, so kamikaze flight. Today we have a vast array of aviation weapons, and we should be perfecting them. We need to improve inertial navigation systems, develop new types and kinds of correction systems, and increase reliability. Digging holes in a field for a photo is amusing. So, and he is, saying about this photo with a massive crater from 3,000 kilogram bombs. Digging holes in fields for photo is amusing, but it won't win the war. I mean, these deranged people, they still think that they can win this war, and I don't have anything to say. And here is the second post from him. It is after this video with the bombs surfaced. On March 22, I shared my opinion on unnecessary nature of the glide kits in such a caliber in modern warfare. I mean, in 3,000 kilogram caliber. Around the next day, a decision was made to create a glide kit for this bomb. Aircraft designers and glide kit engineers quickly developed a new glide kit from scratch for the bomb and integrated it with Su-34. However, no miracle occurred. Su-34 can carry only one 3 kilogram bombs. Considering that it was not designed to carry the FAB 3000, I see this as a good result, excellent result. This means military customers, meaning the Ministry of Defense, spent a lot of human efforts and government money so that Su-34 can bomb a target only with a single bomb. In the video, it is clearly visible that the power of FAB 3000 is only slightly greater than that of the FAB 1500. This was in fact the main reason why its production was discontinued. Judging by the depth of the crater, the bomb was set to instant explosion, so all its energy went into high explosive impact and not into digging a hole. In other words, the order of motherland to somehow adapt the 3000 was fulfilled. One bomb, one plane. Meanwhile, the same plane could easily carry the 3, and you can see here, 3 FAB 1500 M54 with glide kits. Yes, it will be heavy. It won't be able to maneuver well, but it is unlikely to evade a missile with a 3,000 kilogram bomb as well. Only an idiot would compare the effectiveness of 3 1500s with one 3000. Even 2 1500 doubles the probability of hitting the target. Why don't they suspend and use 3 1500s? There is no reasonable explanation. So I think that he's referring here that you never. So we have seen in one of the previous slides that it is possible to put 3 1500 kilogram bombs in the on the Su-34. But I can see that he says that they never do that. They put less than that. And I think that the main reason is that actually the plane itself is not so strong as to carry them. On paper, maybe, but the actual plane that was produced um, on actual, plant will be too weak. The airframe will be too weak to carry consistently these 1,500,000 bombs. I think it's my opinion, because we can see it quite. I mean, maybe it can do that, but it put too much stress on the airframe, and therefore they would like to avoid it. And we don't know in which state these Russian airplanes are right now, because they are used quite extensively, and there might be quite a lot of wear on them. And also, you can well, it happens all the time during these missile strikes on Ukraine, on our civilian infrastructure and everything, when they are deploying 295 strategic bombers. Each of them can take 8 cruise missiles, but they are firing maybe 2 out of 8. So it was my aside. So let's go back to FighterBomber and who is saying. So why they don't suspend and use 3 1500s? There is no reasonable explanation. I think I gave already quite reasonable explanation. It is probably for the same reason why attack aircraft and helicopters spray and pray with a pair of underloaded unguided aircraft missile blocks instead of 4 or 6. He's here referring, you probably have seen these videos when there is attack plane like Su-25 or some attack helicopter flying very low, hugging the trees, and then it goes shallow, up. I forgot the English word for that, and then starting firing unguided missiles somewhere. So, and instead of 4 or 6 that can be put on the airplane, they put 2, and even these 2 are not fully loaded. And also he's saying, and that's why, for example, probably the Su-34s flew with a pair of UMPK glide bombs instead of 4. Again, I think it is not explaining it. Maybe he knows. I think he knows. The reason he just doesn't want to say that our Russian aircrafts are shit, because he might get in trouble for slandering the army or armed forces of Russia. So he doesn't want to do that, probably. Because, I mean, it is quite obvious that they are trying either to conserve the reserve, to conserve the I forgot the word. Well, to prolong the use of this aircraft, because they are that what they have is mostly what they will have till the end of the war. They are manufacturing some aircraft, but the attrition rate is much higher than the rate at which they are producing the new ones. So let's go back to FighterBomber. I hope common sense will prevail. The way of awards for those involved in creating this new wonder weapon will soon pass. They will hand out a few medals. Calm down and stop messing around. The era of glide kits with cheap satellite guidance system is ending. Electronic warfare is winning. Accuracy is dropping. Perhaps for a while, accuracy can be compensated with the power and the quantity of bombs in a salvo. scaring off electronic warfare, but there is no path, there is a path to nowhere. Attaching lasers and cameras to glide bombs with cast iron bodies is pointless. It is simpler and cheaper to develop missiles, and we already have breakthroughs in this area. Oh, we have breakthroughs. Yes, indeed. In place of glide kits, twilight geniuses in secret underground factories are already created new wonder weapons. Okay. It sounds like German propaganda of World War II. And the main air fighter of the special military operation will carry them, it is Su-34. Yeah. So, well, obviously he had to end up on the positive note. So you see, this guy who has some relation to Russian aviation is convinced that it was the video of the 3,000 kilogram Russian glide bot. So what do you think? Leave your opinion in the comments. And if you like this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing. Till next time, and Slava Ukraini!